Today at QueenBeing.com, we're going to discuss what narcissists are really thinking and some ways that you can cope with it as a survivor.
So let's get started. Closed captioning provided by Athena Moberg and CPTSDFoundation.org. My name's Angela Atkinson, and on this channel, I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse and toxic relationships. I like to call it toxic relationship rehab. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button and let's just get going. Louise June says, how do you stop believing the verbal abuse? That is a great question. You have to start by focusing on what's true and what isn't true. And when you're dealing with a narcissist, 99% of the time, you're dealing with someone who isn't giving you a fair assessment of yourself. They might say you're lazy, you're stupid, you're ugly, whatever they say. You know, one of the things that I recommend my clients do, one of the things that I've done is write down all the things that they said to you about you that kind of live in your head still, those self-perceptions we pick up from other people. Let it sit overnight, and the next morning go into the list and literally go down the entire list. If they said you're ugly, cross that out, write I'm beautiful or I'm handsome. If they said you're stupid, cross that out and write I'm so freaking smart. Whatever it is that they said, cross out the belief, write your truth next to it. And your truth is whatever you want it to be up to an extent, up to a point. I mean, obviously, if they said you're 3 feet tall and you're 5 feet tall, you can't write down that you're 7 feet tall unless you want to be proverbially 7 feet tall. But outside of some basic stuff, you can almost be anything you want to be. So that's a really important thing to think about. It's about changing your perception, Louise. It's about stopping the belief that that person has any say-so over who you are, how you perceive yourself, and really how you perceive yourself is how you are. So if you perceive yourself as beautiful and intelligent and successful, guess what, my friend? You will become beautiful, intelligent, and successful. Does that make sense? It's certainly difficult to create change in our lives, but it turns out that creating change in our lives, even when it's hard, it's better, especially when we've been dealing with narcissism. Try not to allow that to get you down today. Try to use that as like a cautionary warning, like, gosh, I'm so glad I'm here instead of there. Use the gratitude factor, change your mind, change your perception, and start to focus on, again, what you can control instead of what you can't control. There are different types of self-esteem. There are people who might think, oh, I'm very unattractive, but they know, okay, well, at least I can get straight A's or whatever. I think that it's about the way that you perceive yourself as a student and a lot of other things. I mean, certainly there are some kids who just give up, whether it's because of bullying or because they don't have the support they need at home or whatever. But I think it's important to stay focused on the good stuff that you can control. And as an adult, it doesn't get, you would think it would be a lot easier for us as adults, but even though we don't, well, some of us still go to school, but those of us who don't, there are still like different ways we are graded as adults. Asked him if it was okay to take the kids on vacation in the fall. He used the opportunity to dump on me with all the grievances, said he wanted to go with us. What? She said, I told him no. He said, this is still hard. I was strong. She said, I thanked him for the personal growth and told him I'll never be treated like that again. Or he dropped off after that, but I did shed a tear for what I wish it was. Oh, sweetheart. I think all of us can relate to that, because none of us ever got married thinking, oh, I can't wait until this person turns into a monster and destroys the life that we're creating together. You know what I mean? None of us decided ahead of time that we were going to accept abuse for as many years as we did. And quite honestly, if you were anything like me, when I got married, I did not have a freaking clue what I was doing with that person. We all have to grieve what we wish it was or what we thought it was, in that relationship, whether it's a romantic partner or a co-parent or, our own parents or our sister, our brother, our best friend, whoever it is, we all thought it was one thing and it turned out to have been another. And that is I think one of the worst parts of it all. It's letting go of that. Danielle Mackey says the narcopath I'm married to just finally confessed to cheating and then blamed it on me. I'm devastated. Sweetheart, I promise you, number one, it was not your fault. Number two, he blames it on you because narcissists cannot ever take responsibility for their own actions when they're negative. When they hurt someone or when they do something that is unsavory or in any way considered not amazing, the first thing they do is look for who else can I pin this blame on. Of course, he's going to blame it on you because then you can't be angry at him. Instead, you'll be sad and think you're not good enough. But Danielle, trust me, it was never about you. It's about him and his own selfish needs. Not even needs, desires, and I can't begin to tell you how many people I've spoken to who have just been devastated by this. And I don't blame them. I don't blame you. I know it's painful when that happens. I mean, that's one of my personal deal breakers, in marriage. But I think that what we all have to recognize is that regardless of if you were hanging out in sweats or yoga pants, I'm a yoga pants girl myself, or if you were taking care of your kids, I mean, literally, unless you were out doing the same thing to him, and even then, technically, he still can't blame you, but that would be the only reason that he could even begin to think about saying it's your fault. Everything else it's all him. I'm sure you didn't do anything to deserve it. Don't beat yourself up like that. Louise June says, he said, I'm not worthy. I never deserved anything. He said, I'm a weirdo and I have no friends and no one likes me. Oh, honey, that's exactly what they all say. I mean, you can watch some of my old videos and you will see it's a script almost. What they do is they push everybody away from you in your life, right? They isolate you so they can have more control of you. And then they start telling you things like nobody likes you. They do this early in the relationship in subtle ways. And as they become more comfortable with hurting you and manipulating you, they do this more and more. I'm sure you're a perfectly lovely person. Has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the fact that he isolated you and put you in this tiny box. And then when you willingly stayed there for him, or unwillingly, he further manipulated you, further beat you down. Because here's the thing. What they do is they want to reduce you to a controllable person so that when you want to leave, you're scared to leave. This is very common. And then sometimes they discard you in that process. It's funny because probably when you met him, you were vibrant and amazing and beautiful and awesome and had lots of friends. And then what he did, probably, I'm guessing, is, like I said, isolated you, pushed everybody away from you, whether he did that directly or indirectly. Some of the ways they do this is they start small. They're like, your friend Becky over there, she's been flirting with me a little bit. And then as a person in love, you go, that's weird. And then next time he sees Becky, he's like, yeah, I could see right down Becky's shirt today. Or Becky pinched my butt today, or whatever crap they make up. Or if it's your mom, they'll start being like, your mom really is very controlling with you. Or if it's your cousin, they're always coming up with something to kind of undercut the relationship that you have with anyone else, especially someone who might support you against them. They want to cut all those people out of your life. And this begins early in the relationship before you even recognize it. And sometimes just when someone's friendly to you, they don't like that. And if someone's friendly to them, they'll be, oh, that person's flirting. Oh, that person's trying to control me. That person's this, whatever. It's about pushing everyone away from you and not allowing you to stay in a community of people or a support network of people who would help you when they start abusing you. And sometimes this happens throughout the relationship. And for me, I got so freaking tired of trying to form relationships with people because it was so easy for this person to push them away from me that I just stopped trying. I didn't have any friends for a while as a result of it. I still have less friends than I used to have. I mean, as far as in person, but I'm okay with it now because I'm really busy. Danielle says he's been pretending to be a faithful husband, all while slandering my name like the most crappiest things. Then he told me to forgive him. He told you to forgive him. You don't have to forgive him. Eventually, you might want to let go of that feeling of anger and that feeling of betrayal just for your own sake, but it has nothing to do with him. Yes, eventually you're going to want to go, okay, I forgive him, and you might not even want to call it forgiveness. I mean, but you want to release the negative feelings. But right now, you need those feelings because you need them to propel you forward and get you out of there. You see what I'm saying? You didn't do anything to deserve this, and you don't have to stay and tolerate this abuse. It's abusive. It is. And what he's doing with you is he's playing mind games and he's hoping against all hope that you are insecure enough that you will take this and you will allow him to stay with you and continue your lives together. And then you know what he'll do? The very minute you go, okay, I forgive you, you know what he's going to do? He's going to do it again and again and again. Once they get by with it once, they continue. And if you're anything like me, you don't want to share your person with another person or a bunch of other people. Not only do we have to concern ourselves with disease, but we also have to concern ourselves with personal feelings and personal autonomy and invalidation. And I don't know, I wouldn't put up with it, girl. I would not put up with it. You do not have to forgive him. At least not in the traditional sense of forgiving someone. You don't have to stay with someone who does that to you. Fallen69 says, I miss my ex very much, but I would never want her back. So weird. No, that's actually really, really good. I think it's normal to miss them because they become part of our everyday. They become part of our, our normal, our comfortable. They become part of us and our lives. But when they betray us, when they abuse us, when they hurt us, emotionally or otherwise, they don't get to be in our lives anymore. We get to shut them out and we get to say, you know what, I deserve better than this. And I promise you, you all, every single person watching right now, and me, we all deserve better than that. We do. We all deserve better.
Do you have other questions that I can answer for you regarding narcissistic abuse, narcissistic abuse recovery, or even what goes on inside the narcissist's head?
Share your thoughts, your ideas, and your experiences in the comments section below, and let's talk about it. As always, thank you so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life. And hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. Now, before I go, make sure you check out the videos I'm leaving for you right here, as well as the ones in the cards above. And while you're here, hit that subscribe button right there so we can stay connected and continue on this healing journey together. Now, don't forget, you're never alone. You've always got your Spanily. I'll see you soon.